Alright, hey everybody. So, Funimation, a little bit before I'm recording this video, just released a new video comparison trailer of the masters that are going to go into this 30th anniversary set versus older DVD releases and even the season set Blu-rays. And it's good that they put this out, but I think there are still some problems. I'm going to discuss everything. The main thing that I want to say about this trailer is it's better than the first one, and I like that they put this together. It took half a week, maybe a little bit over half a week, because the first trailer came out on Friday. It is now Tuesday, the week after, and yeah, the first trailer was not good. It was not good whatsoever. It showed off. It seemed clumsily put together, honestly, and so does this one, but it seems less clumsily thrown together, and like actual effort went into it. The main problem with the first set was, on top of being clumsily thrown together, because they used uncropped versions of the episode footage from episode 1 of DBZ. From what seemed like the season set masters. People have been getting this confused, by the way. This Blu-ray set does not have is not a double crop from the season set Blu-ray masters. It is not a double crop. And that is where you would have it cropped to widescreen and then pan the scan back to 4:3. No, it is actually 4:3. You get more vertical resolution than you do horizontal, and that is the good thing there. Or vertical video than horizontal, which is good. But the problem is that the video source also seemed to be slightly zoomed in for some reason, which made no sense whatsoever. And people have been pointing this out, and others have just been, what am I looking for? People have just been thinking that it's a double crop. It is not. It is the 4:3 aspect ratio for the original footage, but unfortunately it was pushed in for some reason, and it makes no sense as to why. The only other release of Dragon Ball of any of the Dragon Ball series to do this were the blue bricks for the original Dragon Ball series and everything. And not everybody liked that, but it was still watchable. Unfortunately, Funimation didn't release the Dragon boxes of Dragon Ball or GT or the movies or the TV specials, so I would really, really think that they would want to at least try to match that quality. Now, I do hope as the months drag on and we get more clips, because with this trailer out and showing that the footage is at least better than the season sets, I'm thinking that a lot of people are going to, because they only need between 400 and 500 people left at this moment in time for the reservations for people to buy this stuff for the pre-orders and whatever else. I do think that this trailer was partly to get people to have instilled confidence in Funimation to actually produce a decent remaster. And I will say, from this trailer, first of all, it doesn't look as heavily DeviantAr'd. Then again, they didn't show a lot of the shots that they did from the first trailer where you could easily tell it was DeviantArt. They had a lot of moving shots. They didn't have a lot of still frames or anything. And everything went by pretty fast, which I kind of understand. On top of that, the video itself, I thought it was just a recut of the original trailer with the same narration just placed in different places and whatever else. No, they reused a lot of the narration from the first trailer. But they actually had, I think Doc Morgan is the voice actor who does the narration for Dragon Ball. They had him record new lines for this trailer, and I don't know whether or not they planned for this trailer to come, but or at least come as fast as it did. But showing that they released this thing 4 to 5 days after, or maybe 6 days after, no, not even 6 days. It is actually more like 4 days after the original trailer did, I think was a thing for Funimation to do damage control after they got a lot of backlash from more hardcore fans that they're trying to market this set to. But enough wasting your time. It's already been 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and talk about this blog post that Funimation posted today, the day I'm recording this, April 9th, and see what they're talking about here. How the Dragon Ball Z 30th Anniversary Collector's Edition 4:3 aspect ratio was created. Okay, already the title is sus because you shouldn't have created the 4:3 aspect ratio. It should just be unaltered from the film footage. Yeah. The most iconic, and this is the first time I'm looking at this, by the way, the most iconic action animated series of all time celebrates its 30th anniversary this year, and last week we announced a brand new collector's edition for Dragon Ball Z, with the series in 4:3, to celebrate this milestone. This set has a number of exclusive elements, including a new Goku figure from Band Presto. It's sort of new, they just changed the mold of one of their older figures, though. You can tell because Goku's gi is slightly damaged for some reason. And that's because it was part of it was originally, the body was originally a mold for a different set, or a different figure where Goku was in Super Saiyan form. So yeah. But yeah. And a coffee table style hefty art book. This looks like it's gonna just be promotional artwork that has gone into the last, home releases, or the home releases over the years, because it has the completed artwork from the season set Blu-rays, which I think was actually one of the better parts of those releases, by the way. The packaging and the bonus features are definitely the highlights of those sets, because certainly isn't the episodes. But yeah. And we're running a, well, with some other stuff as well, but this just looks like they're using stuff from Toei, and Toei doesn't always give Funimation the best, material to work with for their stuff. On top of that, they actually lied about it being the first art book that we have gotten. Viz translated an old art book for Dragon Ball several years ago, and they're doing the same thing again later this year for a different one. So I don't know, but I think what they're actually trying to claim is that it's the first produced exclusively for America first, but I don't know. And we're running a special limited reservation period for fans to stake their claim on a set. You can check out the full page at there for the full details. So yeah, just looking at this. Basically, you see all that is updated in the last hour, because they're on Central. Within the last hour, they have gotten around almost 200 more reservations than they had before I looked at this. Which updated, when it updated this morning, it was around 224 something or 25 something. So yeah, and just to give you guys an express look at this, first, I think the packaging is actually really cool. Art not final, yeah, it's definitely not going to be like this, because the Saiyan Saga is only 39 episodes within Dragon Ball Z. Frieza Saga is like 50 something, the Cell Saga is like towards 100, and the Buu Saga is like 90, I think, 80 to 90 episodes. And yeah, so each one of these is going to get incrementally bigger and everything. Yeah. Then we have this Goku figure, as you can see, like what I said, his gi is slightly damaged for some reason. I'm hoping that they redo parts of this mold, because there is no reason Goku's gi should be damaged, and he's holding the Dragon Ball. I don't know what that's supposed to be representative. The disc art actually looks kind of cool, and it actually brings back memories of the Dragon Box disc arts, because those had the characters on them in a similar style to this. I can't not think that they haven't taken influence from that in the art book. Like I said, you can see it right there. This is the artwork for the first 3 seasons of the Blu-ray sets, the season sets and everything, which it's good artwork. I'll get it. I'll give them that. Um, I think they contracted some of the animators at Toei to make them new artwork for the Blu-rays, and it looks great. I actually like it as a collage and a mural and everything. But yeah, we do see a picture of Majin Buu right there and a picture of Cell, but I have a feeling that's from the season sets as well. We won't know until the art book comes out. And then we get this entire big fucking box for this, where it's going to have this box for the Goku figure, as you can see right there, this art book, and these 4 DVD or Blu-ray cases, which I am hoping this isn't going to be another release where they have these stupid ass shitty digibooks. Granted, Funimation hasn't done digibooks in years, but Dragon Ball is the one series I've gotten from them where they have. But I'm hoping that since they used regular Blu-ray cases for the previous release, they'll just have Blu-ray disc cases with these. Yeah, I hate digipacks. In fact, I think the worst ones I've ever gotten are the ones for Doctor Who, because I don't care about the packaging. I just want the episodes. The packaging can look nice, but if it's not ergonomic, what is the fucking point? The BBC is the worst when it comes to that with Doctor Who, with the series sets for the newest incarnation of the show, and it the revamped continuation of the show from 2005 on. And I'm just glad I got the 50th anniversary collector set that they released. And by the way, it's a much better release than this. And because it just honestly is a lot better. Let's try and reload the page real quick just to see if anyone else. Right. This is manually updated, by the way. It's not run by a machine, so it's like we won't know how many more people pre-ordered for a while. Probably within the hour or so. But yeah. This set is a number of exclusive elements. And okay, I already read that. We received questions from fans like you regarding the aspect ratio for the Dragon Ball Z 30th Anniversary Collector's Edition. We'd like to give a more in-depth and transparent explanation regarding how the video was handled for this upcoming release. This should have been done with your first trailer, Funimation, and this should have been the first trailer. It really should have been. It's a lot better than your first trailer. It instills more confidence, and this this blog post helps. You know, you should really give details when you first announce something. We created a comparison video using actual footage from several different Dragon Ball Z releases to show the difference. I'm not going to show this trailer here. You can go to it. It's on Funimation's YouTube channel. I'll probably link it down in the description or something. And it's actually decent. I will give it that. It is not perfect, but it is decent. But yeah, they do different comparisons between the Ultimate Uncut Editions, I don't believe the orange bricks, because realistically, who cares about the orange bricks? The season sets and the level sets, I believe. I could be wrong, but I don't really know. Then again, the footage in the trailer, though, I will say, it still looks like the footage from the first trailer, just zoomed out more. Thankfully, they didn't zoom in. And because I've seen comparisons on Kanzenshuu, which I will get to in a few moments. And it just looks like it's still blocked really well for the most part. And it could be better, but otherwise it's pretty well done, in my opinion, for the blocking at the very least. Alright, I had to pause the video recording. Anyways, so, yeah. We have the materials for the entire Dragon Ball Z series from beginning to end as a transfer from how they existed on film. Our previous Blu-rays for Dragon Ball Z were cropped to 16:9 to match modern standard sensibilities that have evolved over the years as widescreen has become more adopted, but for this particular project, we wanted to release the series in 4:3 for some for the more hardcore subset of DBZ fans who want to experience the series with higher integrity. I will say good. Good. They understand that this set is aimed at the hardcore audience, and thus it should cater to them. But it is still not great. But I'm hoping for comparison clips in the future that will show as they go on with the remastering of this set. And I'm hoping that the initial clips and screenshots that they have are just indicative of, like, them trying to have a certain level of quality to them, but we'll see. Yeah. Match modern standard sensibilities, my ass. The aspect ratio of the film is not 4:3, but a slightly different aspect ratio that was not uncommon for certain film material at the time. In addition, and more importantly, in many frames, the picture of the materials we received does not extend all the way to all four sides, and therefore are scalloped corners or inconsistent edges where the image is missing, again, largely due to the age of the materials. For television broadcasts, the entirety of the film with these missing edges is never intended to be shown, and only part of the image, as cropped to a perfect 4:3 aspect ratio, is presented. Yeah, that honestly sounds right, from what I know. But yeah. We believe that showing the entirety of the film, including the missing black sections, is not true to the intent of the video's presentation. As these missing sections are not ever known or shown in TV broadcast or home video and would be seen as a mistake. For TV broadcasts in both Japan and the US, the whole image is always cropped to that aspect ratios, so that the aspect ratio stays the same 4:3 throughout. Basically, they're trying to justify cropping the image from its original 4:3 to 16:9 to match television standards now, when the television standards were different back when the series aired both in Japan and the US. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It legitimately makes no sense whatsoever. And who in the fuck is in charge of the marketing department for Dragon Ball over at Funimation and restoration and everything, that they would justify creating shitty DVD sets that don't honor the integrity of the original aspect ratio? Like, this is very, very telling of every single release Funimation has ever done, which explains why apparently there was a back when the season Blu-rays were being discussed by Funimation, they sent out a newsletter in an email form that had a questionnaire where people could vote on whether they wanted the set in 4:3 or 16:9, and apparently 4:3 won out, but they did 16:9 anyways because fuck anybody who actually knows what they want. Jesus. But yeah, Jesus. But yeah. You can see below several instances from the raw materials as well as screenshots from the actual 30th anniversary release that show how this cropping occurs to maintain a 4:3 aspect ratio. These materials are not altered in any way from their sources, the original materials on the left and 30th anniversary collector's edition footage on the right. Okay, I'll open these in new tabs and we'll take a look at these. So here you see this. This is the raw material from their film masters that they have. They have 16mm film masters, by the way. This is how this was intended to be seen and everything. It may be a little bit longer than it needs to be on the sides, but this is the entirety of the master. I don't know whether it's... I don't exactly know whether this was pre-cropping or if they just pushed in the edges a little bit. But you have that. Here is what they have for their remastered sets. It's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be with the pushing in and everything. Um, and yeah, so this is the raw film master. This is the pushing in. I put this on Kanzenshu last night, but it reminds me of um the um the film Help by the Beatles. The aspect ratio is really weird when you watch that on the Blu-ray. The aspect ratio is not 60:9 or 4:3. It's really weird. It's a weird in-between space. And on top of that, the corners are rounded off and everything. I don't honestly get why that was, but it probably had to do with the film stock that the film was filmed on. But yeah, so here we go with the Gohan and Cell Juniors. The only problem I'm really seeing is the DVR they are applying and the color correction. Though I won't say it's bad, since they are making the colors a little bit more vibrant with it, is that you can see here there's a lot of grain. The DVR they're applying gets rid of pretty much every bit of grain in the shots. You can even see it here and everything. Now you can still see the grain, which is good, and this isn't a moving picture, so it's not indicative of the picture in motion, or the film in motion, but the majority of the grain cannot be seen, and everything. So yeah, but this is just the raw film master, so yeah. And only like slightly corrected. And as you can see, I think that is okay in terms of the colors and everything, and the pushing in is not actually that bad. It's only a little bit. I don't think that they should be pushing in the picture at all. I do understand the slight crop where they tear off the little bit of footage on each side, since this is what the original animation cell looked like, and as you can see up here in the top left-hand corner, it is rounded off a bit, so it makes perfect sense that it would be cropped. I do take issue with the pushing in, however. This should not have been pushed in. Yeah. But whatever Funimation wants to do, I guess. So yeah. For this particular project, creating a true 4:3 image for the entire series is a very manual process. Our production team at Funimation has gone in scene by scene to make judgments based on the image available in each frame of how much to trim to get a consistent 4:3 aspect ratio, while still attempting to cut as little out of the picture as possible. And as we can see, yeah, I would say that for the most part they actually have done that. The result of this project is that some parts of the film have indeed been cropped, and certain shots more is cropped than other shots, depending on the amount of image missing, due to the requirement to keep everything at a consistent 4:3 aspect ratio. The process is intensely manual and very deliberate, depending on the circumstances of each shot. So this cropping is not the same from scene to scene, and differs from other releases which had their own manual process. We did not conduct the cropping while comparing to other past releases, which is good, but it makes me honestly think why. Like, I honestly don't get it. We get more comparisons between the all that, and this shot of Frieza is what Anime AJ on Twitter brought up for his comparison of the two, and I think that this shows off the problem. The color correction, it's clearly not a manual color correction. They talk about the cropping, which was manual, but they don't talk about the color correction. The color correction is very clearly in favor of matching with the most primary color that they have, or the most brightest color that they have on screen. Which, here's the thing, and this also goes with the grain, because the background looks like a fucking watercolor. It still looks like a fucking watercolor. painting with Frieza plastered over it. I don't get it. And then you see Frieza's frame. He is entirely more purple. And as a result, the sky behind him has a more purple tint to it as well. On top of that, the brightening tool is not necessarily bad, but it is there. And it's honestly making this shot too purple, honestly. And the background is just too blurred. Like, that is the problem with using DBNR like Funimation does for Dragon Ball. Everything becomes a blurry mess. And they keep trying to fix this with a sharpening tool, but that doesn't fix the problem. It only makes it worse. And then you have Gohan and Bulma right here. As you can see, on all of the corners, the film cell, or the cell that they used for the animation, is there, with all four corners being rounded off and everything. But the cropping here eliminates the, those, and it is a selective crop. You know, at the very least, it is a selective crop, and from what we can see, not a lot is missing from the shot. Only the edges and a little bit of the tops and bottoms are missing from these shots for the most part. Good on them. There's also a problem here. Because of the brightening tool and the color correction tool that they're using here, not only is the grain missing, for the most part, you can still see the grain on the raw film reel. There shouldn't be a ton of grain missing here, and it looks like there's not, but the color correction tool that they're using here eliminates a lot of the details in the floorboards here. It's easy to see with the floorboards, with the tiles. You can see individualized squares right there from the raw film stock. But here, you can barely see them. Unless if it's like near this computer console or whatever, you can barely see the tiles separated by lines, which should not be how that goes. Luckily, not a lot of the detail is missing, and hopefully if we see these images in the actual clips of episodes where they belong in the future with comparisons and whatever else, comparison videos that Funimation will do, hopefully these problems will be sorted out for the most part, but we'll see. And then you get this last shot of Gohan, this is filler by the way, Gohan telling Bulma he's going to go off and help his dad win the fight. But yeah, the cropping, like I said, isn't actually that bad, and it honestly makes sense. I don't think that the pushing in should be done, but the cropping, I understand it. At least you're not missing a lot on the tops and bottoms, I will say that. The problem still is here, though, where you can see the tiles separated by the drawing, or the drawn lines on the bottom of the floor in there, but with the color correction and brightness tool that they're using and DBNR to try to get rid of as much of the grain as possible, you lose a lot of the detail with the tiles. You can still see them, but barely. And then parts of the tiles in this shot that were visible in the raw film stock are now gone. It's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate. I really don't like when Funimation applies heavy DBNR like they do, because it's almost always terrible. Yeah. And even the wind shots. Granted, some of them are cropped out, but you can't see a lot of the wind shots, as they should be, on the sides here. You know? And you can see what I mean by watercolors when you look at the wind shots and the sky. And then Gohan, everything looks like a fucking watercolor. Everything but Bulma and Piccolo looks like a watercolor background. And it makes no sense. You see the level of detail in the mountain in front of Gohan? Outside there? And the sky? Well, it looks like a fucking watercolor. I really honestly don't understand why Funimation has to make it look like a watercolor. It's so stupid. And then you lose a bit of the thing for the glare on that window there. Like, what? Why? Why do you have to do this? It sucks. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. To repeat, the 4x3 is not done from the original film materials, or is done from the original film materials, not based on the 16:9, and for the vast majority of shots. The 4x3 will have much more visible, or will have much more image visible than previous 16:9 than the previous 16:9 release. Regarding the image itself, there is some digital video noise reduction to clean up some of the noise, dust and grain from the original film materials, which we felt was mandatory for this release based on the different levels of fan support from various past DBZ releases with different levels of noise reduction over the years. So basically what you're talking about... Oh, and this is the famous image from some of the comparisons. What you're talking about within this little section right here is that you're not taking in fan feedback from the good releases. You're taking fan feedback in from all of the releases. That could be okay if you're taking the best out of it, but you're also looking at what's going to sell. And sell to the idiot masses, by the way. And no, your DVR solution is not good. Why the fuck does it keep doing that? Okay. By the way, fix that Funimation. Yeah, digital video noise reduction to clean up some of the noise, and you're not cleaning up some, you're cleaning up a ton of it and getting rid of it. And not everything needs an extreme level of DVR Funimation. It doesn't, okay? So here we have a shot of the farmer from episode 1 of DBZ after Raditz crash lands in his sand pod into the earth. And here that is. Oh my god. I don't understand it. Holy shit, you lose what looks like a good background. Look at the ground. Pay attention to the ground behind him and in front of him, and then also the mountains. I've already shown it off. Look at it. It looks like a fucking watercolor. What is and even his truck looks like it's been watercolored over. Like, are you serious? Are you serious? I don't understand why. And look at the fucking crater in front of him. Like, what? The color correction is just terrible. You know, in the DeviantArt, and it's DeviantArt to shit, by the way. And then they color correct it and brighten it a bit, and it looks fucking awful. Like, what is the problem with enhancing the colors rather than just applying a brightening tool and a manual, like, anything? Holy shit. Like, fucking Enhance on iMovie could probably do better than this. My god. Then we get the shot of Raditz here. He's pushed in a bit, and the cropping is there. You lose a bit of his forehead, which I think you could have easily cut out part of his torso, and that would have been fine. But, yeah. And then you look here. This is probably one of the main examples of this color correction. You're not honoring the original color scheme, and it's a little bit too bright. Like, seriously. This is not good. And then you look at the sky behind him. The sky, it's a different shade of blue entirely. That could sum up my point right there. You know? And then his skin. His skin, it's not pale white, but it's not the same color as on the film reel. Like, why? Why do you do this, Funimation? Why? Then we have this shot of Goku holding Gohan after he saves him from the first episode. Holy fuck, dude. This... Oh my god. His gi is too orange. This is more muted orange and everything. and here it's just a regular orange. The Nimbus cloud isn't supposed to be that, like, shade of yellow. And then if you look at the background, again, the mountains right there in the sky, and even this tree branch here, and the leaves on it, there's more detail left in on the film cell, on the film reel. Same with the mountain right there. Like, I don't understand this whatsoever. Then we get this shot of a crowd in, I'm assuming, West City or something. And then we look here. Now, this is slightly... actually, no, it's not. Okay. First of all, yeah, I can see where they'd have to push in a bit, and crop it a little bit. However, it's still losing, material. The DVR process is too heavily applied here when it comes to this particular shot, as you can no doubt see. Not only that, but the brightening and color correction is so overplayed. Like, it's more overplayed than it needs to be. Yeah. It's not supposed to look like a watercolor shot. And it's not. Look at the tiles on the fucking sidewalk or whatever the hell this is that the people are sitting or standing on. You lose a lot of those. They become faded. They become faded. And the shadow right there from the tree. The shadow right there of the tree. It completely it turns brown rather than black, like it's supposed to be. And then the shadow right in back here is also supposed to be more dark than it is. And then you get the window of the cafe, and it's, I don't even know, what is this supposed to be? And then the sign right there. The color correction tool that they're using is just not that good. Now here's the thing. Zooming in, I kind of understand in some cases where the frames are damaged on the tops or bottoms. That's going to be unavoidable, especially with third-generation duplicated prints like Funimation has. However, some people were told, like Geekdom 101, were told this was going to be from Toei's film stock in Japan, which means that there wouldn't have been as much damage as there would have been for Funimation's third-generation duplicated prints. But this is part of the problem we see when Funimation try to do this themselves, as opposed to subcontracting a company, an actual film company, to do this. That's what they did for the level sets. They subcontracted a company to do this. I seriously do not understand. Like, no one at Funimation actually understands how to remaster film stock. They legitimately do not. They should really hand this off to professionals who actually give a damn and know what they're doing. This is the problem when you take people who are only audio engineers or people who are only directors or only editors and you give them a job to do and they don't know how the fuck to do it. This is the main problem with Funimation doing their own remasters, is that they keep screwing it up royally. So, yeah. God damn. So here we go with Anime AJ on Twitter, which I highly recommend his stuff if you have not seen it. And he lists right here, well, there goes any doubts. The DBZ 30th Anniversary Collection is horrendous as the first trailer hinted at. And he links it, what a joke of a company. Wow, their website literally shows how much they've butchered with zero shame. Holy shit. Then he links it. He links the blog post. 1. Somebody can't color balance. 2. My God, please find a better DNR solution if you insist on removing the grain. You're flattening the image so much. And you can see right here in the direct comparisons, that is true. That is very true. I don't necessarily know about flattening. I think he means with the backgrounds is what they're flattening. Because Frieza actually looks okay. He doesn't look like he's missing any details or anything, but the color correction is jacked up, and the DNR is so bad. All the texture is just gone. Lines between the tiles, too. And it's just like what I showed. You can't see the tiles anymore, or at least the lines separating them. And then he has, because we smeared the shit out of the past releases and gave you no alternative, we've decided that means you like it, so there's more smeary shit. Right, so here's more smeary shit. Which, yeah. Yeah, so there you go with that. A guy who actually studies this shit over and over, and he is responding to people and liking tweets that people put out. But yeah, and then we have some people on Kanzenshuu who have, for instance, this guy Forte 222 or 224, having these direct comparisons and screenshots and whatever else. He has this screenshot from the actual footage comparison video, which, as you can see, I think the brightening tool isn't as bad here as it is on the 2014 Blu-rays. So at the very least, they're trying to keep the natural skin tones of each character and the natural colors and everything. And as you can see, the blue on the sky is not as bad here as here. But you can still see through this screenshot that it still looks like a fucking watercolor. It's almost the exact same, if not exactly the same, just with, like, more darker colors. You know? And then you look at the Japanese Dragon box, and you can see that it doesn't look like a watercolor. Like, it's not smeared to shit. It's not. And, yeah, and you can see right there, Goku and Piccolo are not that bad in terms of, like, the color correction, or not the color correction, they're not that bad in terms of blurriness or anything, but the color correction is just, I honestly don't like some of the color correction on the Dragon boxes, I'll just say that now, because the sky is not supposed to be this teal, or in some cases green. Namek has green skies. Earth, however, is supposed to have blue skies like here, but not as smeared to shit. Then you get this comparison between the 30th anniversary, or between the new Masters and the 2014 Blu-rays, and then a shot from the Dragon boxes and everything. I don't know what to say. Then, this, like I said, the colors are better, in my opinion, because it's not as bright, and it doesn't hurt my eyes, but it still looks like a fucking watercolor for the background. I honestly don't understand it at all. Yeah. Cyberman. This shot shows definitely what I'm talking about here. It looks like a fucking watercolor because of the smearing tool, where it was just supposed to represent, you know, the edges of clouds in the original shot. You know, it honestly just looks like a fucking watercolor. It makes no sense. But yeah, so I just wanted to show that off. Funimation, you did better with this comparison trailer and this. However, it looks like you're not going to even remotely take care of a lot of the problems that were on the 2014 Blu-rays, and this is just going to be a not as bright, DeviantArt to shit fucking mess. Yeah. Like, I don't give a shit about your cropping. You perfectly outlined why you cropped and pushed in the image a little bit. However, for one, you shouldn't do that a lot, and two, you're still gonna DeviantArt the shit to hell and back. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with the person who is deciding these stupid-ass decisions? Or making these stupid-ass decisions? I don't understand. And Funimation isn't going to try to explain. I just don't understand it. It realistically does not make any sense. And you look, even in these small thumbnails, you can see the difference in the picture. And the raw film reel is just better than the fucking redone versions for what they've started to do. Funimation, I have a serious bit of advice for you. Get an actual film company to remaster the series. You did that for the level sets. It'll maybe cost you money, but it's not going to cost you a lot of money. It's not going to cost you a ton of money. Maybe a couple tens of thousands of dollars, maybe. Technology is much better now than it was back in 2011 when you started the level sets. Get the people who did the level sets to take a look at this. Leave it to professionals. Your own people do not know how the fuck to do this right, and you seriously need help if you're going to do this. Hell, Toei doesn't even do this shit right. That's why they subcontracted Pony Canyon for the Dragon Boxes and Q-Tech for the first 98 episodes of Kai. You know? Yeah, just leave it up to the actual film companies to do this shit. Which, by the way, still looks like your third-generation duplicated prints, so... And yet, people have said, from people that have told them that work for you, that it's a Toei a Toei joint effort with you guys. Could Toei really not front, like, half the bill to get this done? Like... I understand you use your in-house team to save money. You've done that ever since '99. But, you really need to take better care with this, okay? I understand you want to remove grain. But here's also the thing. Grain keeps in preservation of quality. You know? Grain is not a bad thing. You know? And you need to stop treating it like it is. Okay? I'm really not going to want to buy the set if I'm not being shown a good product. And this is better than other releases that you have done, but it's not that good. It's honestly not. I thought that the set was good with this comparison trailer, but your own blog post is your undoing. It really is. Yeah. It's either that or get people in who actually understand film remastering. If you're not going to fully hire a studio to do this for you. That's just what I want to say right there. So really don't have much else to say. Links, description, all my shit. Subscribe if you want. And I'll see you guys in the next one.